Hi there, everybody. This is Lee, and I'm talking about John Conyers'S bill, the H.R. 676, Expanded and Improved Medicare-for-All Act, and the fact that at my last inquiry, it was up to either 108 or 109 co-sponsors, mostly or all Democratic members of the House, who show their open and visible support for this bill, indicating that they'll vote it up if it ever makes it to the floor, and that they are a majority of the Democratic House that have co-sponsored that bill. And that single payer has really come into focus very clearly this year, we'll say, that more and more people are talking about it, that it's not dismissed outright, that people are giving it the consideration that it deserves. And what it actually deserves is a vote on the House floor. We don't know if that's going to happen. Nancy Pelosi is opposed and has indicated that she has no intention of allowing it to the floor for a vote. It's still in committee. And so it may be the case that she's remaining true and consistent to her earlier determination not to bring it to the floor, even with a Democratic majority. That there have been Democratic majorities in the House, and that bill was not brought to the floor for a vote. And so voting Democrats or the incumbents back in gives you what you've gotten even 10 years ago, when 8 years ago, when there was a majority of Democrats in the House and they were able to bring that to the floor. They chose not to. And so there's an effort to replace these Democrats with people who will actually fight for a single payer, not just voice an empty phrase like "I support single payer" and then block it at every opportunity. And that there's an effort to repeal and replace not only Democratic members of the House, but also Republican members of the House who do not support single payer health care. And so that brings me to the point of this video. I made an earlier video about Maxine Waters, representative from California, one of the longest serving members of the House in the state of California, which is considering its own single payer bill at the state legislature, that regardless of what happens at the federal level, the state of California is making efforts to protect its own population with a single payer healthcare system. Maybe Texas, maybe New York are states that could likely also lead the way in terms of having a large population that might make it more financially stable, I would say, having a sufficient pool of people to spread out the cost and the risk factors. But I'm looking at Texas, Texas being a very populous state, even in spite of the fact that Hawaii is also considering a single payer healthcare system for its state and its population, which is very small. But anyway, Texas, which is very conservative leaning, but there are also progressive members of the House in the state of Texas. Bernice Johnson is just one. And so I checked for her name as a co-sponsor of H.R. 676 to see if she was supporting the efforts of John Conyers, the longest serving member of the U.S. House, a member of the Congressional Black Caucus, like Bernice Johnson, and then also a member of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, like Bernice Johnson. And so I did not see her name listed as a supporter of John Conyers' bill, despite the fact that Sheila Jackson Lee is a supporter and a co-sponsor of that bill. Maxine Waters is a co-sponsor of the bill. John Lewis, Elijah Cummings, Hakeem Jeffries, other members of the Congressional Black Caucus, and then certain other members of the Congressional Progressive Caucus have co-sponsored that bill, but not Bernice Johnson. And like Maxine Waters, I wanted to do an inquiry to find out why. So I went to Open Secrets to see if that might give an indication of what's happening to hold up her showing support for a healthcare system that's been proven to work in other nations and that would save lives in the state of Texas. So I went to Open Secrets and I learned that Bernice Johnson has received thousands of dollars from the healthcare industry, that she received $10,000 from Berkshire Hathaway Life Insurance Company, that she received $10,000 from Border Health, Texas Medical Association, which is not necessarily life insurance. And then also $10,000 from the American Society of Anesthesiologists. And so I don't know if that's what's holding up her indication of support as a co-sponsor for this bill, or if it's something else. And so, just out of curiosity, I'm wondering if she will co-sponsor this bill and join other members of the Congressional Black Caucus, John Conyers' contemporaries and colleagues, or if she'll choose not to. So I'll just leave it here and we'll see what happens. Good luck.